A Centennial Scholar should be a young person who is coming to NCCU looking to help themselves. And I say help themselves because we found that it's much easier to help a person who's willing to help themselves. And that's pretty much it. We're not looking for a grade point average minimum or maximum, as some other programs do. We are not looking specifically for first generation students. That could also include a person who's a legacy of NCCU. Because we know that those students have needs as well. So we just don't assume that a first year student or a first generation student is the only student with the need here at the institution.
I was never really held accountable for like being here on time, going to a meeting, other priorities other than grades. And Centennial Scholars was definitely the first organization to really tell me, yo, you need to come here, you need to pay attention. You're not just in it for yourself anymore, you're in it for a whole group of men. You have an image to uphold, an organization that's attached to your name. So it's like, you have to do more than just okay, you have to do above and beyond.
I like to tell people a lot of times that in my just a couple weeks into my first semester at school, I actually went to UNC Chapel Hill once, and I felt more out of place there than I did here, because I guess generalize, I've never noticed how closed off white people tend to be. Just from I don't know, I mean, people here just seem more friendly, more outwardly friendly. They just, you know, a lot more hi, how you doing, just out of nowhere, instead of needing some connection with a person or group before that.
It's unique at the simple fact it's not just an organization that conducts meetings. You come meet each other on a weekly basis, have an e-board, vote, elect on things. It's a brotherhood in the sense we all have a place to go to chill. We all talk about things other than education, even though that's really the topic most of the time, because that's what scholars do.
I mean, I'll be honest, in this country, we don't, you know, it's a devaluing sometimes of the life of, especially black males, black people in general, but black males as well. We know what is done with, you know, black women with over-sexualization and other things like that. But it's just a devaluation of the black male. So I think us valuing the black male here at NCCU is unprecedented on any campus. That goes for HBCUs and PWIs, historical black colleges and universities are predominantly white institutions. So
we have all the right to be the leading scholar in this nation. I feel like we may have to work more, work harder for it, but in the end, I'm gonna work harder regardless. Even if we were equals, I was gonna work harder anyway. I feel like that's the mindset that all men of color need. Not even just African Americans, any minority race. We all need to work hard. We all need to get to where we need to be. We all need to ignore the stereotypes. We all need to ignore the statistics, be above the statistic. We have all the resources here available to us. Honestly, we've kind of been complacent and fell into the stereotype ourselves. And a lot of people just play that role. They feel like just because they're men of color, education with them can only go so far. And I feel like that's a lie. It's a lie that we were raised in. It's a lie this nation tells us. And I feel like we can do so much more. African-American men have been great and have always been great. We've always been smart. We have always been intelligent, inventors, visionaries. We've always been that. Somebody lied to us growing up.
I will say that we believe that our students can do anything. There is a culture of no excuses here. There's also a culture of support when it comes to whatever the student thinks that he or she may be able to accomplish. We don't tear a student down. We ask a million questions to make sure that they thought it through, but we definitely believe that if a student has an idea, that they can bring that idea or that dream into fruition.
What CSP offered me was that sense of brotherhood amongst these same guys that we're all defying statistics. We're all defying the odds that, you know, society has placed upon us. So it gave me that sense of a collective identity that, you know, we're all in this fight together. So I'm going to help you. You're going to help me in whatever aspect we need to help each other in. And, you know, that's how we're going to, you know, push forward.
My first year here, they introduced us to Cohort 1. I'm Cohort 2, of course. They introduced us to Cohort 1, and Cohort 1, they acted more as big brothers rather than just members of an organization. If we needed a ride to Walmart to load our room, they got us. We didn't have to put in gas money, which is a big thing for me. If we needed a place to do laundry, they had us. Even Mr. Kent or Mr. Dorset, if we needed a place to do laundry, they would pick us up, take us there, and we can do our laundry. They've taken us out to lunch, like dinner. If we need something to eat, they have us. Like it's a real tightly knit, and it actually motivates people to do more in the organization itself, rather than just be, okay, can you meet me here this day? And you, other than formalities, it's far beyond that.
To me, the Centennial Scholars Program consists of family, friends, it's a brotherhood, and also a sisterhood with our equal sisters. And I believe that CSP has the potential to produce the next world leaders. I believe that the next United States president might come out CSP, honestly.
So our goal is to make sure that they understand in your first year, you know, your roommate, because we have a living learning community, that same roommate that started with you in the first year should be the same person that's leaving with you in the 4 years it takes to graduate. So that's what we mean by brotherhood. Also, the brotherhood that we have with the students. As a professional, I'm expected to be a part of that brotherhood too, and to foster that brotherhood. So they look to me for ways on how we expect them to treat each other.
If I find myself anywhere I am, I'm trying to be a gateway for NCCU students, not just for chemistry and pharmaceutical science major, but for anyone that is coming from CSP, despite your ethnic group you're coming from. I'm trying to be that gateway. At least NCCU will know, okay, at this school, we have a gateway. This is what you need to do to get up there.
Mr. Dorset, Jason Dorset, he is really the reason why I became a Centennial Scholar, because I just saw his drive and his commitment to these students. I was like, these students aren't his children, they're not kin to him, you know, but he has so much commitment and passion for them, and he was a graduate here as well, so he has so much commitment and passion to seeing the success of students. And whenever you're around, you know, people of that caliber who have that sense of service to others, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to be about. And, you know, surrounding myself with someone, you know, with people like that would have been, you know, the best option. So that's what really made me want to join.
The scholar part of Centennial Scholars is more of an attitude. We instill that attitude and that confidence into our students by the process that we have from the first time that they arrive here on campus to the time they graduate. And it takes about the whole 4 years to be able to instill that into our students. But we believe it works, and that's what we believe in here in CSP, that our system and our process works.
If you're told that you are something and you believe that you are something, then that's what you are. Of course, we know how it can work negatively, but that's how it works positively with CSP, is that you're called a scholar, and in turn, you do the things necessary for that to actually be a designation that many people will recognize you by. Like, yeah, he or she is a scholar.
I feel like it's a powerful statement just to show how many educated young black men are one, student leaders on this campus, two, leaving and going out into the world with plans and goals already set forth, and to establish themselves as Centennial Scholars in the world, away from Central. I feel like people would definitely ask that question, wow, how did you become such a great leader? How did you have an upbringing so structured? And we're all gonna have to say North Carolina Central University Centennial Scholars Program.
When I think of CSP, I think of an original African-American male initiative, a model initiative for the UNC systems, or a program that people look up to. You know, say, oh my God, they're producing so much. You know, these numbers what I would expect from African Americans or minority males in that sense. So to know that other UNC system schools model our program, we've won national awards for Program of the Year. I mean, that just doesn't happen by accidents. So when I think of CSP, what we do works. It's proven it works. It's going to continue to work. And these are just a few examples of what the CSP program is producing. But we come in numbers. So it's not just the 6 that you see here on camera, but I mean, the 50 that you see last year, the 60, 75 students who are getting ready to graduate in May. And then God knows how many are going to come after us. So that's what I want people to remember.
The Living Learning Community is a partnership between academic affairs and residential life in our program. Of course, the program is housed here in our office, but the students that are first year and second year students live in the a specific area of a residence hall, and that happens to be New Res too. And what they do is they take certain classes together. So this year it happens to be Dimensions of Learning that they've taken together. And what they're able to do is to continue that conversation from the classroom over into the residence hall and even into our office. And so it's a triangle, if you will, of experiences or spaces where they're learning. And so we believe that learning takes place as a student affairs practitioner, even outside of the classroom. We like to make sure that when you're gaining an opportunity and when you're achieving, that you turn back and you show someone else how you did that. We don't want our program to be the program that instills just ambition and just achievement. We want to make sure that you're doing both of those things, but teach another person how to do that. Because oftentimes students in our program have benefited because someone else has told them about an opportunity or they've made an opportunity for themselves. But we do want to make sure that they're turning around and showing someone else how to do that.
I feel CSP is excellence, basically. One of the early founders, Dr. Rome, he actually stated at his going away speech to expect the impossible. And I really feel like that's what all members of CSP do. And he just put it in words for me, and it actually made really a lot of sense. Like, we expect the impossible. We don't have any limits to what we can achieve, and we go for it. Excellence.